gentlemen, it's time to introduce our next speaker. Please join me in putting your hands together for engineer Abdul Rahim Ibrahim to share the Energy Management Information Systems, ladies and gentlemen, from the Energy Commission of Malaysia.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi and very good afternoon. I was reminded not to go more than 20 minutes, maybe less. Okay, let's proceed with our presentation. My presentation. Okay, the outline of my presentation is this is the background, the EMIS concept, and the snapshots of EMIS and conclusion. Okay, as a regulator, we cannot do away with this. Number one, we have two acts here, Energy Commission Act, where it's clearly stated that to promote energy efficiency and also to conserve non-renewable energy. And we also have another act, is Electricity Supply Acts, and underneath of under this act we have regulations, that is Electricity Regulation 1994 and Efficient Management of Electrical Energy Regulations 2008 or EMER. We will focus more on the last one, the EMER. Ladies and gentlemen, again I would like to show again this slide showed by Mr. Wong just now. But Mr. Wong goes too fast. This is about the concept of energy balance concept. Primary energy versus energy consumption. So where do we get our primary energy? We go for transformation, and who are the consumer? Well, the primary energy is the production, number one. What we produce from our own land, we import. We minus whatever we export, we minus whatever in the bunker means ship or tankers, and plus or minus stocks. And then the energy consumption is what we use, energy to do work, plus the energy consumption during the transformation, the losses in distribution, and the non-energy consumption. Okay, this is our resources, the raw resources. Either is from our production or coal, import coal, gas, hydro, or renewable energy. Of course, if for oil, the unit is in barrel, and for coal in ton, for gas in mmCFD, for renewable is kilowatt. But then for unit of energy, standard international unit of energy, they convert it into ton of oil equivalent. Okay, and then where do we use our energy? We have this domestic sector, industry sector, commercial sector, transportation sector, and also agriculture sector. So we have about 70 data providers to produce this energy balance information or book. So there are utilities, IPPs, oil and gas companies, fisheries, Department of Statistics, aviation, shipping companies, EPU, EPF, MITIS, and many more. Okay, with regard to this energy, this is the actual energy, not to say actual, the energy statistic for 2015. The primary energy is about 91,103 kiloton of oil equivalent. Okay, but then the energy used to do work is only 51,829 kiloton of oil equivalent, or about 56% of the primary energy. Okay, so you can see about 40% is the losses during transportation and all kind of that. Okay, this is specifically under final energy consumption by type of fuel. You have gas, this is for clean cooking, or also industry. That is about 19% of the total energy at the demand side. Petroleum products, maybe it can be petrol or diesel, and electricity about 22%. But however, as mentioned by Mr. Hendrik just now, if you save 1 unit of electricity at the final stage, you actually save about 3 units at the primary energy. Okay, this is basically the structure of electricity system. Okay, you have generation, transmission, and also the demand side. Currently, this is statistics as of 2015. The domestic is using about 23,231 gigawatt hours, commercial 36,000, industry 43,000, others 1,900 gigawatt hours, and in total on the demand side is 105,562 gigawatt hours, and is increasing compared to 2015 by 2.3%. So when you have demand there, you also need from the generation side, the supply side. So from the supply side, as we mentioned, we have a few types of fuel. Oil is about 1.4%, natural gas 47.8%, hydro 4.09%, coal 46%, and renewable energy about 0.43%. Renewable energy may not be at the generation side, it can also be at the distribution side. Okay, so when you have this generation, you need an infrastructure. Currently, this is our infrastructure statistic. We have 500 kilowatt line is about 860 kilometer, and then 205 kilowatt line, 8,000 kilometer, and 132 lines. And also our demand in 2015 is about 16.82 megawatt, and it keeps on increasing year to year. So in average, for 1 megawatt of power plant, it costs about investment about 4 to 5 million. At the infrastructure side, can be 8 million. Infrastructure, what I mean is transmission and distribution, is about 9 million. So if we can save 1 megawatt at the demand side, we most probably can save that much at the transmission and generation side. So energy management aims to optimize the energy consumption on the demand side. That's where we come up with EMER 2008. Okay, looking at installation subject to EMER 2008. So these are the sector, domestic, commercial, industry, lighting, minings and agriculture. But the one subject to install to EMER is only these two sector, that is commercial and industrial. Currently, we have 645 commercial sector subject to this EMER requirement, and 1,271 industrial. In total, is about 1,920 installation subject to regulate this regulation. So what they need to do is they need to appoint a registered energy efficiency manager, and to submit reports, and to provide all the data to the Energy Commission. So currently, we are using very conventional type of monitoring. We use this Excel format with limited analysis, and that's why EMIS is very important to us. So the process cycle of monitoring email in 2008, yes, Energy Commission will notify industry and also commercial industry and also commercial sector that they are subject to this requirement. So where we get this information, we got it from our utilities. Okay, utilities will provide all the data, those who consume energy more than 3 million kilowatt hours in 6 consecutive months. Okay, and then industry will appoint this RIM and will tell us, will notify us who are the RIM, and they will prepare a report, energy efficient report, endorsed by RIM and provide to Energy Commission. So all this process, currently we are doing it much conventionally, with hard copy or through email, this kind of thing. So how do our involvement with this EMIS and BSEEP? So EMER, as I mentioned just now, is a regulation. Industries that are using electricity more than 3 million kilowatt hours in 6 consecutive months, they are subject to this regulation. So EMIS is a web-based system hosted in EC, and it can be communicated online. Okay, and BSEEP is the one who assists EC in effectively monitoring this installation under email. So as I mentioned previously, yes, or currently we are using very conventional method of monitoring the system, but we hope with the EMIS we can do it much better. So in this EMIS concept, we have the system administrator at the EC side, and the installation can also access to the web page, and then they can provide all the information through the web page. And RIM is also another entity or another data provider. Oh, sorry, how to reverse back? So RIM is to make sure that whatever provided by the installation is correct. Okay. So these are all the process flow. I will not go one by one, but the flow is almost like the convention, the what we are currently doing, but only that now we are doing it online. Okay. So you see the reported data, all the electricity data, industry sector, and then the floor area, the cooling degree, and also the occupancy per day, and all this fuel. If they have, not only from electricity, some industry they are using coal or gas for their production, so they have to inform us. And then the energy saving measures they are doing. So these are all the data that we require from the installation subject to this email. So we will do the analysis on the electricity, and then CO2 emission. Currently, we did not do the CO2 emission because we are doing manually. But with EMIS, we can do that. And then the specific energy consumption, the building's energy index, the fuel, these energy saving measures, and the regression comparing the previous and baseline data. So that can be done with the system later. But what we did now, a few years back, is that we try to get this specific energy consumption by subsector industry: cement, steel, glass, rubber, wood. For example, if you look at 2005, in the steel manufacturer, that is the average energy consumption per unit. If in case of steel, they go by metric ton. If you are in the steel industry, your production is, you are using 437.5 kilowatt hour per ton, so that is average. If you go lower than that, you are better. if your consumption is more than that figure, so you have to do something to reduce your consumption. So as you look at cement, rubber, we have the specific energy consumption for that subsector of industry. With EMIS, we may do better than this. Okay. Also in the government buildings, currently we are using just Microsoft Excel to get all this data. Yes, we monitor government 25 ministries based on 2013, based on 2013 data, and in 2013, the government had come up with a regulation, some sort of like circular, want them to reduce their aircon temperature from to only 24 degrees Celsius. By doing that alone, they managed the first year to reduce 5% compared to 2013. And then in 2015, they managed to save some 6.8%. And in 2016, because some ministry have retrofit their system, so they managed to save energy 10.8% compared to 2013. So this is a very considered significant saving in energy. So with EMIS also, we can alert industry online if they have not submitted. So the system will automatically alert them. Currently, we have to wait through all the 1,900 installation. We have to wait through one by one. But with EMIS, the system will automatically alert the installation if they have not submitted their report to us. So through the EMIS system also, we can send message to them, and they can send message to us. Industry can send message to RIM, and RIM can send message to the installation, and RIM can also send message to ST on the progress of the system or energy usage. Okay, just a snapshot of how does it look like. So industry, they are subject to EMER. They may log into this page. This is the home page of the installation. So you can see who are the RIM and the RIM profile and statistic report and report requiring for their attention is all in this is in the installation web page. The registered energy and efficient energy managers homepage, they have to monitor their installation under their purview, so they have to go through one by one, make sure that the report submitted to the Energy Commission is endorsed report with the verification report. Okay, and the detail of the installation, this is the page where the installation owner have to fill up all the things. Okay. Report grids of view. And one nice thing is that they provide all the data, and the system will generate some kind of analysis and will record their consumption. They can compare, the installation owner can see their consumption month to month, okay? And then they can compare, their consumption and average industry consumption also to the web page. And also CO2, how much have the installation generate this CO2? Previously, we cannot do that. With this system, inshallah, we can do that. Okay, and then the product analysis, again, as I mentioned to you, specific energy consumption is one of the important criteria they are looking at. If you are producing this per ton metric of products, how much is the consumption compared to the average consumption of the same sector of industry? So that can be done. Okay. And for commercial building, we will be comparing specific BEI, Buildings Energy Index, for that particular installation compared to the average compared to the average BEI or the same sector. Banking is banking, hotel, hospital and hospital, schools and schools, universities and universities. Fuel, if they have other fuel than electricity, so they can we can also monitor, and with this also we can become our data. So for the national energy balance data, this national energy balance data, when we produce a complete data with all the stakeholders who provide the data have verified the document, with that data we bring up to IEA at the international or APEC international or the United Nations. So the regression, how much there is a changes between year to year, is all can be read through this IMIS system. Okay, and then what kind of energy saving measures they are doing, and does it contribute to energy reduction or not? So it will be monitored as well. Message. And in conclusion, yes, we thank to BSEEP JKR, we thank to UNDP for providing these applications. This application we developed by developers in Croatia. They are now in the process, we are towards the end of developing this system, and by end of this month or early next month, they will hand over it to us, and we will start using it maybe next year, early 2018. So between the first the July to December, we will start doing the training, the trainer, and all the kinds of exercise. So it's a web-based, it's an online reporting, it's a comprehensive analysis can be carried out. We can benchmark your consumption, we can online monitoring, and alert through reminder. So with that, I thank you very much for your attention. Thank you. Assalamualaikum.